It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Car Con Carne is still in quarantine. It's Quarantine Con Carne, sponsored tonight by CNH Financial Services. Find out more at freeprocessingnow.com, CNH Financial Services. Joining me is Sebastien Derbaume. He is a brand ambassador of William Grant and Sons. And more specifically, the U.S. Trade Advocacy Director. That's a real title? That sounds like a cabinet position.
It's it's a bit of a fancy title. It's actually manager of brand advocacy for William Grant and Sons. That's right.
That is a very fancy title.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit fancy, but it's very basic. I used to be an ambassador for the company for many years, and now I'm overseeing the program. Going from everything around consumer, bartenders, media, all that stuff, trying to keep it together.
So you are surrounded by William Grant and Sons product. You built a little fort for yourself, like a little playhouse with all your different brands.
Space, yes, space for myself, and I still have stuff hidden on the side. But yes, we got a bottle for every dad here at the right price.
Well, you said it. Father's Day is a week and a half away. I figured now is a great time to talk to you. For people who don't know what to get dad, especially in quarantine, we're still all more or less sheltering in place. I thought you'd be a good person to go to. And since you have this variety, whether it's rum or gin or scotch, I figured you'd be a good person to kind of tailor some suggestions.
Yeah, definitely. I can steer you in the right direction.
Well, let's start with me, Sebastien. Let's start with me.
Okay.
I'm pretty low key. I just want something warm, something flavorful. I'm not fussy. Like I don't need anything super high end. I just want something that I can sit back and watch a movie with.
Sit back and watch a movie with. Okay. Are you usually a little bit more of a single malt drinker, or you don't mind? You go for the blended scotch? You say you're easy, right?
Yeah, I'm very easy.
Very easy. Okay. Well, let's start by what I think is probably one of the easiest one to drink here. In a way, it's super smooth. You can go and enjoy this at any time of the day, any time of the week. Sorry, because you don't want to drink all day, right? No, you shouldn't be saying that.
Well, that's our new reality, right? I mean, that's everyone's living like we're in Las Vegas, drinking at 3:00 in the morning.
Yes, so I still sometimes wonder what day it is. Don't ask me what day it is today, because I might get it wrong. I think it's Wednesday or Tuesday. It's Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Thank you very much. Oh, quarantine. I love it. What about we start with Talamodu, Irish whiskey, right? You want something easygoing, Irish whiskey. It's your best bet. It's triple distill, this one in particular. And, we use 3 different type of cask, and you use 3 different type of whiskey as well: pot still, malt, and grain whiskey. And I can see this going down very well. If you like beer as well, if you're like a Boilermaker, kind of lover, this sitting next to your favorite beer, it's a winner. And for a good price. I tell you can find it around $26, I believe, in the retail store. Yeah.
So that's good mass appeal.
Yes, definitely. I will take you to single malt afterward, which is, because of me, became one of the favorite whiskey of my wife. And the other day, because I was running a little bit low in my favorite, because she tends to go through my cabinet a little bit too much. So I was like, well, I'm gonna, give her a little bit of Talamodu, try to introduce something different. And by the time I sit down next to her and we look at movie, and I don't know, it was like 2 minutes later, like a glass was empty. I was like, oh, that was too easy to drink. Like, we have more. So I don't know if it was the right strategy, but yeah, this is very easy to drink. Very nice.
What about, again, thinking about Father's Day, new dad? I'm let's say I'm a new dad. I'm frazzled. I'm not sleeping. I just want something to settle me down and transport me from the 24/7 life of being a new father. What would be a good option for that?
I would have two options for you.
Okay, hit me.
One will I say will take you to a very nice place. And yes, this is my as you can tell a little bit, uh, one of my favorite running low on that one. This is a single malt. It's a Balvenie 12 years old double wood. So this is like the craft spirit of the single malts for the people who enjoy tradition. Um, at the distillery over there, they still malt their own barley. They still tend their own still. They have a cooperage on site. So they still cover all the genuine crafts of the single malts and the whiskey industry in general. And this is absolutely fantastic. Out for 12 years, but it's also finished at the end in sherry cask. So it was one of the first whiskey to do a finish, you know. Now you feel like it's part of the whole landscape in the single malt industry, but they were the first one to actually doing a finish, which is mean you take the whiskey out of your traditional cask, which usually will be bourbon, and you transfer it into something else for a few months to give him an extra, you know, layer of flavor. And this one is spending a bit of time in sherry cask, and it's absolutely beautiful.
And that's 12, right?
Yes, 12 years old. Yeah.
So moving one up, like if I'm more of a whiskey aficionado, is that what I'm looking at right there? The 21, right next to the Glenfiddich?
Yeah. So if you want to move on up, this is where I want to take you in a bit of a journey. So this is still, you know, a reasonable price around, you know, $60. But if you want to move up a little bit, and if you knew that, I've got a couple more for you. If you want to give something very special to someone, obviously it's a little bit more expensive, but I have to say the 21 years old Portwood, it's absolutely fantastic. Any whiskey fan, any whiskey geek will tell you that this is an amazing dram. So same idea, is being aged for 21 years old in American oak, but the finish here is in Portwood. So it give it this like rich fruits, mixed with spices. I mean, the layers in this whiskey keep going on and on and on. So you can sit on this, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is very special.
So that's a gift for the dad that says, I really know you. I understand you.
Yes.
I make you very happy.
Yes, and someone who want to take the time to enjoy whiskey. And, it's something you can also share with friends. If you have someone, close friends or family who enjoys whiskey, this is a type of whiskey which going to bring, sometimes it's not a comfortable silence. It's a good silence, in a conversation when you're like, wow, this is good. What is it again? And yeah, take them through that journey.
Let's be honest, especially as we're talking about dads, that's the kind of thing that maybe we wouldn't buy for ourselves. When you have kids and you're just trying to, especially we're in a recession now officially, it's the kind of thing you wouldn't indulge on, like, maybe I shouldn't. But as a gift, that's
a gift?
Perfect.
It's perfect. It's absolutely fantastic. And another very nice gift, if you want to, go in a slightly different direction, but still looking at single malt whiskey, right? Well, I've got this giant box here. I'll show you the box as well because I really like it.
It looks very
beautiful, well made. Yes, and that's just for the effect. If you give it to someone, when you open the box like that and you get to twist it and you discover your bottle behind it, right? This is very special. This is Glenfiddich, part of our family as well too. That's where it all started for William Grant and Son. And this is Glenfiddich Grand Cru. So we released that one last year, and this is a 23 years old single malt, and it's been finished in cask, which contain Grand Cuvée, sparkling wine from France, which we call champagne, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Just the packaging alone says it's something special. Yeah. That's a gorgeous looking.
Yes, it's gorgeous looking, and it's packed with flavors and aroma. Like from sweet brioche to spice and candy lemon. I mean, this is the same. This is something you can sit back with someone close to your family or by yourself if you feel like it, and just go for the ride. Highly recommend that one too.
For someone who's watching or listening who maybe has only had the Glenfiddich that's to your left, that's right in front of me on my screen as I'm looking.
Yes, 12 years old.
What's the difference flavor wise? What would someone expect if they went all in on the Glenfiddich on your right?
On my right. Okay, so this one will be, the notes. I think it's about the richness, the body. of the whiskey, and some of the main flavor notes. So when you age a whiskey, obviously you gain in flavor, you gain in complexity, you gain in body as well, silkiness and all that. So this is very fresh and fragrant, like pear notes, a little bit of spice like cinnamons and stuff like that. But when you jump on an extra 11 years, you're gonna get a lot more body, a lot more richness. I put out that bottles actually for some guests over the weekend. A friend of mine was celebrating his 40th birthday, so I drop him a bottle and we sit down together to enjoy this whiskey. And he loves whiskey. His cabinet is full. He never tried that one before, and he was truly impressed with the silkiness and, like I said, the layers of flavor. It just keep on going. So this is fantastic. One of the most awarded whiskey in the world, the most awarded whiskey in the world, actually. But if you like your whiskey, you'll notice the difference. It's a step ahead.
So what do you get for, excuse me, what do you get for your father-in-law? Let's say traditional father-in-law.
My father-in-law, when I used to live in Australia, and when I left Australia, I had a massive collection because I bartended for many years and I love whiskey. So, but when I moved to the US, unfortunately, I couldn't get any. So I left him a shipping container half full of alcohol. So he's good. But if you want a gift, I will say, you know what? If you have a father-in-law who is a bit of an explorer, I would say try the Balvenie Caribbean cask, okay? Because you want to impress your father-in-law, right? You want
to see his good side for sure,
right? You want to be in a good book, right? So you want to offer him something nice. This is a 14 years old Balvenie Caribbean cask, and like I said before, the finishing very important. This one has been aged for 14 years in American oak, but it's been finished in barrel that contain rum before that. So that
that's
will take
Caribbean. Yeah.
Traveling. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned bourbon.
Yes.
Let's say there's a dad who's just straight up America. I just want a good bourbon. What do you recommend?
Well, I got a fistful of bourbon here for you.
That's it.
What about that?
It's new, right?
That's new. Yes, we are very new actually. We launched that in April.
Fistful of bourbon after these very refined whiskeys, the Balvenie and the Glenfiddich. Fistful of bourbon. That says it all.
Fistful of bourbon. That said it all. But it doesn't mean it's not a bad drop. I mean, this is again made with the expertise of the family. So think about it, Glenfiddich starts in 1887. So since 1887, we've been making whiskey, we've been blended whiskey, and this is a blend of 5 different, straight bourbon, and it's amazing. They are, all aged for at least 2 years old, obviously, and it's a very nice drop, whatever you like it. Neat on ice, as your favorite old fashioned or Manhattan. Recommend that one, and it came to a great price point too. Around $25.
Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yes, I recommend that.
So, what else are we looking at there?
Okay,
what are you hiding out there?
Yes, I got one actually. Yes, this is one of my favorite. So we'll be talking about your father-in-law, your dad who is a collector, or some a bit more expensive present. I've got something which is more in a low hand in terms of prices. Low hand, I would say around, 30. It depends on the state, but around $30-$40, between $30 and $40. This is Monkey Shoulder, and Monkey Shoulder is literally one of the best bargain in town when it comes to single malts. So let me explain. There is different categories when it comes to whiskey. You have your classic blended Scotch, which is grain whiskey and all. And pot whiskey mixed together. This is just a blend of single malts, okay? So it's a high quality whiskey. Only we blend it between 3 single malt from the regional Speyside in Scotland. Very famous for easygoing, fruity whiskey, and this is amazing. You can have it neat, you can have it on ice, but it's great in cocktails. So if you have a dad who like a little cocktail, I will recommend this because this is fantastic. We don't use.
or a dad who likes to entertain, and maybe
Yes, I like
have guests
entertaining.
who don't like their bourbon neat or whiskey neat. They might just want a mixed drink.
Right. And sometimes because you're mixing your whiskey, you feel like, well, I don't want to buy a single malt because I feel like, it could be a bit of a waste. But this whiskey was literally brewed for mixing. And the reason is if you grab a blended malt to make your cocktail, most of the time, blended malt, they're going to use a little bit of a peaty whiskey into the mix. So every cocktail going to come a little bit on the, smoky side. This is all fruit and spice. So great in a sour. I can show you if we have a bit of time afterward how to make a monkey jam sour. But it's great in old fashioned as well too. This is
I
one of
think
my favorites.
we would love to see that. Where did you work specifically for Monkey Shoulder at one point? Were you their
I did. Yes. I represent that brand in Australia and in the US as well for about 3 years. So love this liquid.
So you came up in the restaurant business. You have friends around the world. Tell me your impression of where the hospitality industry is at pre,
Right
during,
now?
and post COVID. Yeah.
Pre and post. Listen, we actually, before COVID-19, the industry was actually flying. I mean, I was amazed because I get to travel all around the country and major city and also smaller city. I'm amazed how far the craft, like the craft mixology, just improved. And now it's not only the game of the big city like, New York or San Francisco, and you got a lot of fantastic bars, all around the country, like in Texas and Colorado, smaller, what you call like smaller town. It's incredible. The knowledge is being, I think internet also help a lot because you can spread knowledge a lot faster and a lot easier. But the training and, everything from fresh fruits now to different technique, it's been absolutely unbelievable. It is actually so good to see. Now, following COVID, unfortunately, I know that many bars and restaurants won't survive it, which kind of break my heart because I know already a few names which had to close the doors. But we hope, finger crossed. I think hopefully we can see the end of the tunnel soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we need. If you like your local bar, I recommend if they do take out when they're reopening, go and pay them a visit. Go and buy some drinks. They need our support more than ever.
Yeah, it's all about community. Support your community.
Yeah.
People who you like having in your life stay in your life.
Absolutely.
And
I
stay
understand
local.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand some people have maybe some worried about, still health and stuff like that. But, if you feel comfortable, I highly recommend to go and pay a visit to your local bar. They would love to see you.
All right. So I'm going to take you up on your offer to have you make
Yes.
a Monkey Shoulder sour.
All right, let's do it.
Let's see how you. Do you have like a shaker and ice hidden behind all those bottles?
Yeah, I've got a shaker and I've got ice hidden behind everything.
You've got the coolest place ever.
I've got the coolest place ever. Actually, give me a second. I'm going to grab my ice.
Yeah. All right. So we're watching Sebastien Dubonnet.
Got it.
He's the brand ambassador for William Grant & Sons. If you're just joining us on Facebook Live or even YouTube or the podcast. And he is making a whiskey sour with Monkey Shoulder.
Whiskey sour. Yes, so that's very easy. So that's why I like this cocktail because it used most of the ingredients that this cocktail need. You will have it in your pantry. Okay. To make a sour, you're gonna need sugar and lemon. All right. Something that most people have somewhere in the house. This one is very cool because it's a special whiskey sour that we call the monkey jam because it's gonna use some jam to replace the simple syrup. Okay. What I use here, it's an apricot jam because this is kind of like peach and apricot. It's kind of the flavor. It's the flavor you get out of this whiskey. And the beauty with this cocktail, this recipe I'm going to show you is you can change it as much as you want. You can change the flavor, changing the jam. All right. So if you don't like apricot, you can use raspberry. If you don't like raspberry, you can use strawberry and so on, figs, all that stuff. So suddenly you can make, with one recipe, you can make 5, 6, 7 different cocktails and more.
I think I like this much more than simple syrup.
Yes, me too. Simple syrup is very easy to make. Don't buy it, equal part as you know the rules, equal part sugar and water. But yeah, here you don't even have to do anything. You just buy the jam. So, couple of little spoon here.
Mhm.
Then we have a lemon, and I would say half a lemon is usually enough. If you really want to be proper, I recommend to, use one of these little jigger here, and I will say, 3/4 of an ounce. This is what you need.
So you can
But generally,
take the bartender out of the bar.
you cannot. But you see, I actually use half a lemon, and it's pretty much exactly what I had. 3/4 of an ounce.
I just had
So you good here.
I had the saltiest dinner, and just the thought of you mixing that all together and shaking it up with ice and straining it has me kind of drooling. Like, that sounds really refreshing and delicious right now.
I am not gonna lie to you. I'm probably gonna enjoy that cocktail.
Why wouldn't you?
Little trick here. It's gonna be. I can smell it here. It's gonna be beautiful. A little trick here: when you put your jam together with your lemon, use your spoon to break up the jam a little bit. Because if you don't do that, when you're gonna put your ice and start shaking it, that it's gonna solidify. The jam gonna solidify, and it's not gonna mix together very well. So do it now when it's room temperature. That's a little trick. All right, our monkey shoulder. I recommend to, measure that one up. So a couple of ounces of this beautiful blended malt. Super tasty drop. Here we go. And another little trick for you. This is optional, but I like to use bitters. All right. So here I've got orange bitters. Just think about it like the jam. Suddenly, you can change everything. You can be your own master of recipe. And I know you can find now in shops like a lot of different bitters.
Yeah.
This is orange bitters, but you can go Angostura, Peychaud. There is a lot of different celery, whatever, you name it. And this add a little extra touch to your recipe. So a couple of dashes here. I use orange same because this whiskey, in particular, monkey shoulder, a lot of fruits, peach, orange, apricot, it's all over it.
It just complements the spirit.
Yes, and we're ready to go. Classic sour will ask you to put some egg whites, and because for the silkiness of the drink, it's very important. If you don't like using egg whites, you can use the chickpea water from the can.
I realized I just made a face when you said that.
Yeah, you did. You did. But that's for like a vegetarian. This is your vegetarian option because it will act a little bit the same. Actually, it will bring a nice little foam on top of the cocktail and add a little bit of a silkiness to the drink.
Got it.
True story.
So maybe for Father's Day, we can just have you come to our fathers' homes. Be a fine gift if you just come over and make some monkey shoulder cocktails for us.
Yeah. I make drinks all the time for my guests. I love it. That doesn't bother me at all. I'll be happy to do so.
Hey, you couldn't do what you do without being a social animal, right? I mean, you.
Yeah, I mean, it's people ask me all the time. I mean, yeah, actually, I did it again this weekend. I was invited by some friends. I told you I brought the nice whiskey, and he made us some dinner. And then I was in his kitchen making drinks, and he was like, "No, you're my guest. I don't want you to make drink, but I actually really enjoy it. For me, it's a way to, communicate my passion. It's a way to entertain, and it's a way of sharing. Everything I learn, and it's like cooking a nice dish. When someone enjoy your dinner, it's gonna make you happy. So I want my guests to enjoy my drinks and make me happy. I say, don't worry about it.
Love it.
And I always say to people, the best place to be at the bar, it's actually on the other side of the bar working. This is where you have a lot more fun. All right, we're gonna shake that up.
You're shaking so hard, I think the electricity went out at your place. There you go.
Here we go. That's ready to go. So I didn't put the egg white here. But as I say, I highly recommend that you add a little egg white or the chickpea water. And here you garnish Okay, usually you could use, an orange slice, but I want to keep it simple here. I don't want to add more ingredients, to your shopping list. So I'm just gonna add a little lemon, squeeze on top, put it here.
Cheers.
Here we go. Cheers.
Look at that.
Oh, it's beautiful. What you can see, no, you cannot see. You can smell. Sorry, you cannot smell it. But when you have this cocktail and you look at all the ingredients put together, the citrus and the spice from the bitters, orange and the apricot jam, just wrap himself around Monkey's shoulder.
Love it.
Try it, believe me.
So, all right, we've learned a lot tonight, Seb. We've learned some good suggestions for Father's Day and just learned a lot about whiskey in general. I appreciate your time tonight.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. I know it can be quite daunting sometimes when you get to the bottle shop and you look at the selection and you're like, oh my God, there's so much going on. And there's so much knowledge in whiskey. I didn't want to go too deep into the different type of grain or distillation and all that. But what we recommend is take a deep breath. Look at what I recommended here. And if you don't remember exactly what it's all about, you can always go to the bottle shop, and people forget. You can grab the bottle, read the label. Most of the information you need are on it, okay? And this is where you'll know you buy a quality product when it's well described. It's not only a blurb about flavor, it's tell you about, distillation or aging process. And look where it come from. But I think here, with what I show you today, you can't get it wrong.
No doubt about it. I want to thank everyone who's been watching on Facebook Live. It's Amy, Kelly, Stephanie, Dan, Tyler, Katie, Zach, Chris, Jeff, Mark, Jake, Shanzi. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Much appreciated. I'm going to stop the Facebook Live, and we'll wrap this up.
Thank you very much for having me.
This was helpful. This was informative. This was fantastic. Thank you for doing that.
I hope you will. My pleasure.